What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. I'm Michigan Sports Talk here. In this one, we got some huge news on the defensive coordinator position for Michigan, as it seems Michigan has it narrowed down. Also going to be going over what the departure of Mike Elston means, as well as the latest on Steve Clinkscale, and if Michigan will be able to retain him. And we're also going to be talking about what Kirk Campbell said while talking about the quarterback battle for next season, as well as what the offense will look like. It's all going to be in this video and more, so let's go ahead and get right into it. Alright, so let's go ahead and start with the bad news. Obviously, Michigan, they lost Mike Elston, the defensive line coach, yesterday, as the news was reported by NFL Network's Tom Pelissero. This was a huge loss for Michigan, not only for recruiting, but also on the team. As you know, the Michigan defensive line position group, they have lost their position coach, they've lost their strength coach out of Ben Herbert, and their coordinator out of Jesse Minter. So, you know, this could definitely hurt Michigan and potentially losing players to the transfer portal. But obviously, Michigan, you know, they're going to do everything they can to keep these players, and you know, if Sherrone Moore can hire the right guys, there's still time to keep these players intact here. I know a lot of Michigan fans are criticizing Jim Harbaugh, but you know, it was his staff. This is business. You know, all this kind of stuff, it happens. You can't blame Jim Harbaugh for what he is doing. And it's not like he's holding, you know, these coaches hostage. These coaches are making their own decisions for their own good, for, you know, whether it's the future of their coaching career or just getting away from a college game. Now, the good news, Michigan, they have, it looks like, already found their next defensive coordinator. We're going to talk about that later. But Michigan, they're also losing the graduate assistant Dylan Ronnie, as he plans to join Jim Harbaugh in LA as well. This is another big loss, you know, because Mike Elston, he has praised Dylan Ronnie for the development of the defensive pass rushers and the much improvement, as well as recruiting. He was a great recruiter, as he led the way with recruits like Devin Baxter, Lugard Edokpe, and Dominic Nichols this cycle, which now, you know, it will be hard to keep them. They are already all signed, so many of them will probably have to, you know, enter the transfer portal or ask Michigan to release their letter of intent if they choose to go elsewhere. But we do have to see who Sherrone Moore hires. But let's talk about defensive coordinator news, as it appears the job is down to two guys. Now, first off, we obviously talked about the Kansas City Chiefs defensive line coach Joe Cullen. Now, Josh Henschke of the Maize and Blue Review came out and said today that it appears Michigan has found their defensive coordinator, and that multiple sources have confirmed that the Kansas City Chiefs defensive line coach Joe Cullen is expected to be the next defensive coordinator for Sherrone Moore and will join the program in an official capacity after the Chiefs Super Bowl appearance concludes. However, Sam Webb of the Michigan Insider posted after that news came out that sources have informed them that the defensive line coach Joe Cullen has sent word of his decision to delay determining his next coaching move until after the Super Bowl, and that Sherrone Moore has shifted his focus to the former Baltimore Ravens and New York Giants defensive coordinator Wink Martindale, and Martindale is slated to interview for the job tomorrow. So a little bit of confusion going on right now. Obviously, Chiefs play this Sunday in the Super Bowl, and we will see if Joe Cullen does indeed join the program after the Super Bowl. However, it does seem like Sherrone Moore will be interviewing Wink Martindale tomorrow anyway, so let me know your guys' thoughts on this. Who would you guys want, Joe Cullen or Wink Martindale? Now, we've obviously already talked about Joe Cullen in the last video. He spent the last 2 seasons in Kansas City as the defensive line coach. He's had a ton of experience in the NFL. He was the defensive coordinator for the Jaguars in 2021 for Urban Meyer before that was cut short for him, and he went back to the Chiefs for the past 2 years. He's also been defensive line coach for many other NFL teams, also at the college level, but he's been on the Jaguars, the Browns, the Buccaneers, the Ravens for 4 years, and the Chiefs. So he definitely has that Baltimore defensive style and has a lot of experience. This is also some big news potentially if he is Michigan's next defensive coordinator, because Mike Elston obviously leaving. Now it has come out Sherrone Moore is expected to hire a defensive line coach even if Michigan gets Joe Cullen as a defensive coordinator. So, but obviously the other option is Wink Martindale, as he was the former Baltimore Ravens and New York Giants defensive coordinator. He's the New York Giants defensive coordinator for the past 2 years, and again, he is slated to interview for the job tomorrow with Sherrone Moore, so we'll see how it all goes. But these are the top 2 guys now for the defensive coordinator job. And as far as the defensive line coach and potentially linebackers coach, those are 2 positions Michigan needs. If Sherrone Moore hires Wink Martindale, Sherrone Moore and Michigan potentially could go get the current Giants linebackers coach John Igorigru, who we've talked about. He was a linebackers coach with Martindale at the Giants as their defensive coordinator, and they also worked with each other in Baltimore before that, so it's something to keep in mind there. But Michigan has appeared to narrow it down to 2 guys. Seems like it's either going to be Joe Cullen or Wink Martindale as Michigan's next defensive coordinator. But now the focus obviously shifts to the defensive back coach Steve Clinkscale. According to Sam Webb, the Michigan Insider, it seems that he is leaning towards the exit, as it might seem like he wanted the defensive coordinator position if he were to stay here, but it's not set in stone yet. He has a significant buyout that might affect his decision, so we just kind of have to wait and see on Steve Clinkscale. I also did want to talk about Kirk Campbell, as he broke down the contenders for Michigan's starting quarterback job, as he appeared on In the Trenches podcast with John Jansen, and I said, embrace it, we embrace it. We know that there's only one guy that's going to take snaps come Saturdays, but we embrace competition. So I'm going to coach everybody hard, but I'm going to love them too, and we're going to take one day at a time and make sure they are in the best position to succeed on Saturdays. Michigan obviously has quarterbacks like Alex Orji, Jaden Denegale, Davis Warren, also Jack Tuttle. He is still waiting on the status of his request for an extra year of eligibility, but obviously I'm sure the front runner will be Alex Orji for the starting quarterback position, and that's obviously if Michigan doesn't go into the portal and get a quarterback, but they do have some talent in that room. They also have a freshman, obviously Jaden Davis, coming in, but he may still need a year at least to develop and also learn the system. But at the end of the day, Michigan's going to play the best quarterback. Kirk Campbell obviously will be Michigan's offensive coordinator next season. He also talked about that. He said, the offense is not going to change as far as schematics. We're still going to be similar as far as presentation of formations, but there will be a collaborative effort. And he also plans to call plays and make a system that will be tailored to the players' strengths. But yeah, let me know in the comment section who you guys think should be Michigan's next quarterback next season. And also, should Michigan do a quarterback battle to begin the season, or should they just ride with one quarterback to start out? It's obviously going to be hard to do a quarterback battle with Texas coming up in their second game of the season. But yeah, let me know in the comment section. Other than that, that is going to wrap up today's video. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, make sure you guys go ahead, drop a like, comment down below, and subscribe for more if you are new around here. I greatly appreciate it. But other than that, we will see you guys in the next video. Go Blue.